No, but there is a trigger warning, I forgot. There is a video of, it's pretty graphic, and then there will be very frank discussion about drug use. So just putting it out there. Protect yourselves, please.
Yes. Be gentle with yourselves and each other. And then, yeah, whenever you are ready, without further ado, Jessie and Steamrollers.
Before we start, I just wanted to ask, there is an audience participation portion in this piece. Comes at the very end. I'm asking for some volunteers. I just need maybe 4 or 5, 3, whatever. 1, 2, 3. Okay, when I come, I will tell you to come on stage to join the dancers, and I will explain what you have to do. It's very simple. And if some of you are so emboldened or encouraged to join at the end, when I call for the volunteers to come on stage, join, and I will explain what you have to do. Okay?
If they were not fallen, they They appear relaxed, hurtling through the air. They appear comfortable in a grip of unimaginable motion. They do not appear intimidated by gravity's divine suction by what awaits them. Their arms are by their side, only slightly outrigger. Their left leg is bent at the knee, almost casually. Their white shirt or jacket or frock is flowing free. In all the other pictures, the people who did what they did, who jumped, appear to be struggling against terrific discrepancies of scale. They are made puny by the background of the towers, which loom like colossi, and then by the event itself. Some of them are shirtless, their shoes fly off as they flail and fall. They look confused, as though trying to swim down the side of the mountain. The person in the picture by contrast is perfectly vertical, and so is in accord with the lines of the building behind them. They split them, bisect them. Everything to the left of them in the picture is the north tower, everything to the right the south. Though oblivious to the geometric balance they have achieved, they are the essential element in the creation of a new flag, a banner composed entirely of steel bars shining in the sun. Some people who look at the pictures see
One of my sisters really annoys me. She brings out the worst in me, that I don't really fit in anywhere, and that I'm sort of mediocre at like things. That I cannot handle other people's depression or wallowing because of my mom's tendencies. That I'm really sensitive and I feel others' emotions. That I haven't done respectively, like have kids. My own internalized sexism. That I don't make very much money anymore. That I used to be extremely shy. Even in my own dreams, I would be like afraid to dance in a circle. Like have my turn in the middle. Last week I taught me how to dance. I was so happy. Okay, everyone, just calm your body down, regulate your breathing, sink your body, your mind, and sink into the ground. And here we go. With your left hand, slowly bring it up. Slowly, your head joins with it. Turn to the left. Sustain that, follow your arm until it drops down. Jump up and back into your hand. Your right hand goes to your face, pull apart your face, stretch, flex your right foot to the side with your chest down. Chug back and forth. Your right hand comes along, straight. You hit your forearm, let the momentum swing you around. Both hands reach towards the front. You reach as fast and as hard as you can until everything releases back. Keep it straight. Both arms and legs keep them pointed. Until you relax, flex, soften, slowly. Until you can't float anymore. You go to the right, bring all of your arms and legs underneath your body very slowly until you end crouch to the left.
Take your right palm, plant it like your left. Lift your sit bones up, tuck your toes under. Bring your hips nice and high. Reach your right leg up. Draw little circles with your heel. Bring the right leg down. Draw your left leg up, little circles with the left. Bring it down. Walk your hands in, bend your knees. Take your fingertips, make contact with your shins, and draw your fingertips up your legs. Lift up your right shoulder, shrug, look over the shoulder. Now turn, leg up, good. Land, and now body roll down. Take a nice jump up, bring the arms up, and now turn over your right shoulder. Step out into a wide fork. Bring your arms into a T. Look left. Look right. Pausing, turn around, and drop yourself down, and shake yourself up.
Did you guys just make that up?
Yes.
Mostly. Can we do it from the top again? I don't remember doing that. Here we go. Faster. Just a little faster. And soften to your knees. Left arm goes up slowly. Your head joins to the left. Until you drop down to your head. And then back up and down. Your right hand pulls by your face. Flex your right foot. Land your chest down. Chug back, chug front. Right hand goes to the forearm. Spin around to the front. Hold it there. Let your body drop back forward as your weight goes to the front until you release it. Both arms like straight point. Hold the beat. Flex, soften. Hold it out until you can't do it anymore. All your limbs go to the right. Underneath yourself. Ending in a curl ball.
Plant your right hand, plant your right left hand. Lift your hips high, tuck your toes under. Walk your feet in, lift your hips high. Lift your right leg up, draw little circles on the ceiling. Put your foot down. Lift your left leg up, draw little circles on the ceiling. Lift it down.
Okay, I've had enough. Let's move on.
Hello? I had one final secret, and I exposed it to the world a few years ago in the most dramatic way possible, via a long-winded Facebook post. I couldn't hold it in any longer. It was my final secret, because I lived so openly, too openly for some. Maybe I withheld the secret for so long because I knew I would become a pariah, even in the most open-minded climate of San Francisco. This secret, becoming more and more common among gay men given its increase in commonality.
Increasing with the technology as it increases in connecting us all together.
It made me feel such intense shame. I was addicted to meth for an entire decade. Every few weeks, I would go online to find strangers to use with for 3 to 5 days at a time. We would have unprotected sex, get entangled in illegal activity, and perpetually find ourselves in dangerous situations.
Sometimes life-threatening.
I overdosed multiple times while using other drugs in combination. I've lost many jobs, ruined countless performances, and at one point forgot that I am an artist. I forgot who I was.
Are you gonna ruin this performance?
I'll try not to.
I became completely disassociated from the most integral part of who I am. After years of outpatient clinical support through therapy, proper psychiatric medication, and finally a 4-month stay in rehab, I feel restored to my old self. And I'm at over a 1.5 years of clean time off the damaging substances that tarnished my life.
20 months to be exact.
Even after all this time, I still feel shame. Still encounter people I've hurt and communities I've negatively affected during that full decade of chaos.
So I just wanted to do like a Gerald Carmichael kind of vibe here. Did anyone see Nathaniel? Okay, a few people. I mean, that was amazing. I was captivated for like the entire time. So beautiful, and like he went there. He went to such a vulnerable place, but it was also super funny, but like dead serious. And like that was so inspiring. Like I want to be able to create that kind of vulnerability, that kind of rawness on stage. I don't know. I try sometimes, and I wonder, am I actually succeeding? Who knows? And can we give it up for Luis, who tore his ACL and is still dancing? Like, yes. Honey showed up to the very first rehearsal on crutches. I was like, oh man, you're kidding me. But now he's doing bourrées. I'm like, oh no, you don't have to do that. But thank you so much. Yeah, so getting back to this Gerald Carmichael vibe. Like I asked both of them, we did a free write, like our first rehearsal. And I said, okay, the prompt is write about your secret shame. And I think I wrote about my secret shame, but I'm also of the mind of, I don't think I have any secret shames left. I think I've talked about everything. Like I've talked about being gay. I've talked about being HIV positive for 30 years. Like it always finds, like there's some mention of it in almost every single piece I do. So I kind of feel like, okay, I've talked about that. I'm not ashamed and it's out there. I've talked about my drug use a lot. Not a lot, but you know, I've done pieces about it. And this was supposed to be more or less like, I'm really gonna dive into this. But, you know, then these two came along and said, well, we're gonna pivot. And I also need to stop using that word pivot. I'm so sick of that word. It's like so meaningless. But it changed. So like I am going to talk a little bit about my drug use. Talk about my marriage or my failed marriages, many. Yeah, so I have actually one of the secret shames I didn't share in our rehearsals was I really hate Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, he is just so gross to me. I'm like, you're supposed to be the standard bearer for the gay community? Yuck, you're so heteronormative. Like every time I see photos of him, his perfect husband and their perfect children, I just want to gag. I'm like, yuck! No, this should not be. It makes me so angry. It's either him or Jonathan Groff, who I think, oh, you're just much too pretty. Yuck, I hate you, I want to punch you in the face. So that's out of the bag now. I remember in rehearsal we were talking about, you know, drug use. And like, I just sort of like laid out on the table, yeah, you know, like I did drugs. I was addicted to meth for 4 years. And I actually retired from dancing, I think in 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. I don't know, it all gets hazy for the obvious reasons, but I retired because I was making dances, but I was also doing math. I'm like, this is terrible. I would show up to rehearsal on math. I would teach class, and I was so high. I mean, I wouldn't do it there, but I'd like get really high before, and I'd like, oh yeah, I'll teach partnering. Jump on me. And terrible things I have never admitted in public, but I'm doing it now. And I couldn't do it anymore. I was so burnt out. The whole thing of like writing grants and scheduling rehearsals and like dealing with theaters and all the things it takes to run an arts organization. I was like, I cannot do this, I will die. And I went to my doctor, he took one look at me and said, you know, you have to take care of this. I'm gonna write you out on disability. You take care of this. And also, like as Providence would have it, one of my old dancers called me up one day, I was at work, I worked downtown. She said, hey, meet me by the ferry building. I'm like, sure, why not, I'm not doing anything. I'm breaking up with my boyfriend anyway. So I go meet her, and of course I was high, because I would get high at work. I would sneak into the men's room, and I would get high there. Always wondering if, like when I light up my pipe and I blow that smoke out, is it gonna set off the sprinklers? It never did, because of whatever, the particulates were too fine, or who knows. But I was never caught, so I would get high at work all the time, so that meant I could work 12-hour days, no problem. But anyway, I met one of my old dancers by the ferry building. She just took one look at me and said, if you continue to do this, I can no longer be your friend. And that was the turning point. I was like, okay, your friendship is more valuable to me than my drug use. I will take care of this. So then I checked into an outpatient program and immediately started doing therapy and rehab. All the while, you know, letting go of something that meant so much to me. I was like, I need to take care of myself. Self-care before self-care was a thing. And so I retired from dance for 7 years. I did nothing. I was like, I want nothing to do with dance. I didn't see any shows. I isolated myself from so much of the community. Like, people were like, what happened to Jesse? I don't know what people were saying, but, you know, it was like, I can't. It means so much to me, but it is destroying me. So, in 2010, like that whole 7 years, I stopped taking my HIV medication, which is not a good thing when you've had HIV as long as I have. Which my doctor informed me, you know, Jesse, at that time you had approximately 3 T cells. And we all know what T cells are, don't we? T cells are part of your immune system. They fight off infection and disease. I had no immune system to speak of. And so I contracted, or I developed a syndrome which my doctor told me, no one ever gets this, not since the beginning of this particular pandemic. No one gets this anymore because the medication is so good. And it basically gives you Alzheimer's. Like, I had major cognitive impairment. And it resulted in me passing out my apartment for an entire week. I didn't eat. I was unconscious. My cats weren't fed. And the only reason I'm alive is because 2 of my old dancers realized, Jesse's not picking up his phone. Something's wrong. So they broke into my apartment, found me on my bed, completely incoherent. They 5150'd me, and they took me to the hospital and checked me in. And then they also called my family. And I woke up in the hospital. I don't know how long it was. It was a long time. Like, I was completely unaware of where I was at. I wake up in the hospital bed, and my family's there. My parents had never visited me in San Francisco. They didn't know anything about my life here. They would call me occasionally, and my husband would pick up, and they would always refer to him as my roommate. And I'm like, really? It's been 7 years. But I was like, oh my God, am I dead? Is this heaven? My parents are here. And that's when my sister phones me and is like, hey, Jesse, I had to out you to Mom. I was like, thank you. Thank you for having the courage to do what I was so afraid to do for 40 years. I think I was 40. So yeah, the cat was out of the bag. Like, not just being gay, but around my HIV, my parents knew everything. They didn't know about the drug use. That's one of the things I will take to my grave. That and the fact that I smoke cigarettes. They must never know. But yeah, like, that was a turning point for me. And then I got back into dance. I was asked to create a piece at ODC. And I did a free write because I was like, oh, I need something to fill in the gap here. So I did a free write. In 10 minutes, I wrote this. The prompt was, write a letter to yourself at the age of 21, which is essentially when I came out, when I tested positive. Write a letter to yourself, telling yourself what is going to happen. And so I did it in 10 minutes. And it was everything. It's like, hey kid, you're gonna come out of the closet, you're gonna get infected with HIV, you're gonna get married. You'll be married for 7 years, and then the divorce will be terrible. Then you'll find a man, and he will basically introduce you to meth and get you addicted, and then leave you. And then you'll end up in the hospital because you neglected your health. And then you'll finally come out, that will be the turning point. You will come out to your parents, or you will be outed to your parents because you did nothing was of your own volition. And it was a great letter. Like, I remember before rehearsal, I read it to the dancers, and some of the dancers had actually been on the journey with me, and said, thank you for reading it to us now before the performance, because if we'd heard it during the performance, we would have been backstage weeping. I was like, okay, good. That's how I know it's a good piece. So that was kind of seminal. Like, people like always, like, they remember that piece because it was really powerful. This was just my recorded voice reading the letter. And I co-starred, like, I kept performing that piece over and over again because it was just easy to do and powerful. I'm like, yay. So that brings us to right now. It has been a traumatic, God, how am I? I'm 53 now. It's been a traumatic 53 years. But I think I'm finally happy. Like, I'm in a long-term relationship, and I do love my partner. I do call him my husband, even though we're not married, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds, right? Everything is sort of open. And, you know, I guess things have never been better. But, you know, new stresses, like life keeps coming at you, like, I don't know, like, I love this company. I love making dances. I love working with people. It's just so much fun. And that, I guess that's why I keep doing it. Like, I meet new people, it's like, oh, new energy. Like, you bring something new. I don't know what you can do. It's so fascinating. Because it's not what I can do. Because this body is so broken down. I remember we were rehearsing this week, and I pulled something in my back. It's like, we are not doing that move. You'll have to adapt. That part of like, the one section where they teach the phrase, like, please be nice to me, because I'm going to have to remember this. I was like, why do I do this to myself? Why don't I do something simple? Never, 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 never. But yeah, that's, and this has become a device for me. Like, this is my Zen moment, like, where I acknowledge where I'm at this present moment. This is where I'm at right now. Oh, so, mudra, fingers, you know, fingertips. And I do feel that. I feel so in this moment right now. The light shining on my face, what I'm saying, my like really hoarse voice. I really should have been outside smoking, greeting people, but you know, I'm at work. You know, I sound like Natasha Leo. Yeah, but I love what I do, and I love that I'm sharing this with you, and I love like really almost imperceptible connections we have. Like, I know Luis because I hit on him on Scruff. And I found out he was down. I was like, oh cool, I'll keep that, I'll put that in the memory bank, because someday that will come, that'll be of use. And Rebekah, you're an artist at SAFEhouse, and I've seen you dance many times. Like, and you actually were aggressive enough to email and say, hey, are you looking for a dancer? Like, okay, I'll take a chance, why not? It changes the makeup of the company, because the company before this was all Asian. And like, I was like, oh, it's a thing now. But, you know, like, I roll with the punches, you know, like, I am not, you know, I don't segregate that way. I love it when it's like, oh, we're all Asian, that's super cool, we're all queer, yay. You know, like, it is what it is. And I love that you guys bring yourself to this, and it just made this. And we made this piece in probably less than a month, if you couldn't tell. But I'm just really surprised that we're at this moment right now. So, that being said, track 3.
Sustain until you go back, and keep your arms and your legs straightened and pointed. And release when you can.
I can keep going.
I'm not that old. Hold the beat, then soften and flex, and spin to your right. So this is yours. I don't remember.
Just tell me.
Hands, hips high. Good, hips high. Now bring your right leg up, circles. Good, down. Left leg up, circles. Good, down. Now walk your hands in. Good, and roll up. Good, and now look over your right shoulder, shrug it. Yeah, and now turn back down, go down, and
told you I had cognitive issues. Thank you. Now, will the volunteers please join us on stage? Is it my turn? Ooh, victims, excellent. Okay, very simple. I will sing. When you hear the chorus, you find someone and you hug them, and you stay there until the chorus is over. And the chorus is, into my arms, oh Lord, into my arms. It repeats 3 times. You can either stay there or find someone else to hug. I recommend staying there. If you find yourself without a partner, just look sad. But you know, like I think we're even, right? We have an even number of people on stage, so no. Yeah, no, 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm not walking around, but like I am another body, so I'll try to avoid you because I'm going to be singing. So, but it could be an option. I don't suggest it. I don't advise it. But okay, so why don't we start the music?
I don't believe in interventions, God.
and give one more big round of applause.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Okay, that last section I actually stole from another choreographer by the name of Jesselito Bie. But it's as they say, right? Mediocre artists copy, great artists steal. Not that I'm like positing myself as a great artist, but you know, come on, I'm taking a risk here. And it wasn't exactly the same. I changed it a little bit. Jerome Bell didn't have him singing it, it was just a recording. And whatever, like, I love the three-way hugs. That was like a great solution, thank you.
Everybody loves a three-way, right?
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Of course.
I forgot to say that.
Everyone, please give it up for our amazing artists tonight. Small little wine and cheese reception where you can talk to each other, meet the artists, meet each other. Jesse and I will be asking you to sign our mailing list.
And to give us money.
And probably asking for money too, if you have it to spare.
Probably. We will be asking you for money.
Yes, once again, thank you all so much for
Yes.
coming and seeing this wonderful art. This is why we're here. So, yeah, please feel free to sit around, hang out with each other, go to the restroom, eat some cheese, and do all those things. Thank you once again for coming to SAFEhouse Arts, and thank you once again for coming to us.
I'm about to